It's good to be back talking football.
You are raring to go. I'm loving it.
Play fast, play physical, play aggressive, seize the game, seize the game.
Good players play in these types of games. Great players win these types of games. Lead us and be you, baby.
Deep breath. Let's do it. Make it look good for the cameras, guys. Scrooge!
We gotta contain this man.
Tom, they're getting tired. We're gonna have another chance. All right, go finish it. Let's go. Feed me.
Oh, okay.
That's two. Drag it back. Ooh la la.
Y'all enjoy the show, man.
And Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome to the show that the pros do indeed watch. I'm James Brown, and folks, we know this is the season for making lists and trying to figure out the playoff scenarios, which Boomer has down pat. So with that in mind, it's only fitting that we turn to our trio of, I'm going to call them elegant reindeer and ask them, what did we learn? Are we in a holiday mood, Phil?
Yes, always. I'm always in good spirits. It's the rest of you that bring me down. So
And you let us, right? And you let us.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Ray. That's right.
Yeah, you got some new pills.
I mean, see, I got a little mad. I got a little mad last week because Ray goes, you know, this is a great show. Because Phil wasn't in it very much. And he said it with such sincerity. I was
Passion,
like,
right?
Oh, yeah, okay, you two over there giving fist bumps. That makes me sick, too. Hey, can I ask both of you a question?
Please.
As we sit here right now, going into the last week of the season, do you really think, and can you just see the Super Bowl? It's got to be this team against this team. It's a mess. I mean, there's so many teams I think that can go to the Super Bowl. It's pretty cool.
That's
the other
scary.
one is...
That's actually very scary that you just said that.
Why?
Because I was going to say the same thing.
Were you really?
Wow.
See, we think alike. Yeah. Oh, boy, that's
scary.
disgusting.
That's scary.
Y'all looking like?
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
How often did we hear that,
That's
Ray?
not right.
Anyway, yeah.
You know, you can't say those kind of things.
Yes.
But, hey, listen, we're going to talk about it later in the show, but the Mike Tomlin fake, I did watch it just to see what went on, and we're going to go in depth with it, but I think he did get a little unlucky. We're not going to talk about the decision and all that. He thought that the New Orleans Saints were going to come out there and try to block it. They didn't. They were returning. So that was a little unlucky, but we'll talk about what we
Calculated risk, yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm like Phil. I have no idea who's going to the Super Bowl, which is good for all the teams that are going to make the playoffs because that means every team has an opportunity to get there. And I think I would not be surprised if one of these 4 wild card teams actually gets there this year. The other thing I want to say to my Westwood One colleague, Larry Fitzgerald, you finally threw a touchdown pass.
Hey, look good.
Touchdown pass to David Johnson yesterday. Too bad he couldn't throw it to himself all these years. Here's a guy.
Boomer, did you see the touch that Larry had on that ball?
It was awesome. Here's a guy who's played 15 years for one team. Now, I don't know if he'll be back with the Cardinals next year. There's a lot of rumors out there that they'll move on from him. Played 233 games for the same franchise, 1,300 catches, and 16,000 yards, and, of course, 115 TDs.
Well, Boomer, JB, unlike them, I think I know who.
Ooh,
Has a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, tell us.
Because you guys like all the high fly. See, remember that they was excited earlier in the year.
no question.
Oh, passing is up, and oh my gosh, this is the new league.
Wait. Is
and
this a
everything is going
rerun?
up.
Is this a rerun?
Hey,
I think I've heard this.
No, but Ray has been steady.
Hold
with that.
on.
Go ahead.
And
Give it
what,
to me.
And what is starting to be exposed now? If you can run the ball well
Right.
and play hard-nosed defense, you will be favored. We saw the last 2 AFC teams, the Chargers and now the Kansas City Chiefs, get punched in the mouth the last 2 weekends by physical, dominant defenses. And while people think it's just defense, it's what you can do in your front 7 and drop everybody on the back end. This is what makes the Baltimore Ravens one of the deadliest teams in the AFC. And on the other side, I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks.
Well, how about Cowboys?
Nobody wants to say,
They got a defense. They can run the ball.
I like the Cowboys, but there's a difference between good and great. You know, everybody crowns people so much so quickly.
Yes.
You got to actually do something before you become great.
Ray, bottom line, the team that's going to get to the Super Bowl has
Who
a
are they?
Defense.
top-notch. There you go.
It'll
All
never
right.
change.
You know, JB, this was a good segment. We should keep Michael Irvin out of the whole show.
Oh, no.
Is he
Folks
here?
are looking forward to
Is he-
him.
yeah, he's here.
By the
Oh,
way,
that's it.
our long search for three wise men may be over. We'll be joined later in the program. It might happen now by our CBS Rules official, Gene Steph.
I am right here.
The Hall of Fame playmaker, Michael Irvin.
And
Go ahead.
Ray, I don't need you covering Cowboy stuff. I am here for that.
Plus, the busiest man of them all, that would be the jolly old giant in the red suit. But we kick off with the star of our show, NFL Films Highlights. Turn up the volume. Here are the Saints and their head coach, Sean Payton, for the visit of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How about the two hurricanes?
I got all Cowboy stuff
you two
right
are
here.
old
Don't
hurricanes.
sweat it.
Here we go. It's your shot. Come on, let's go.
What up, homie?
Happy holidays, brother.
Man, likewise, man. 20. What's that?
Hoping to win to secure home field throughout the playoffs, the Saints marched down to a 24-14 lead.
Kamara finds a seam, stretching, walks over the goal line. Alvin Kamara. Keep believing. We got everything we need right here.
I'm gonna win this damn game. Communicate with me. I'm gonna communicate with you. All right?
Needing a win to keep control of their playoff destiny, the Steelers fired back with Antonio Brown.
He throws a fade, and it's caught for a touchdown. Antonio Brown was wide open. Feed me. He throws for the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown got a yard on Lattimore, and that's all she wrote. Saints trail it 28-24. Yeah! Let's go! Who that?
Trailing by 4 with just over 4 minutes left, the Saints forced a 4th and 5.
There's a fake inside to Roosevelt Nix, and he's going to be hit. It looks like he's going to be just short.
He was short. This game is insane.
Wow, it is short.
With 2 minutes left, the Saints faced 4th and 2.
United! We got cut! Game on the line. Steelers bring 5. Throws incomplete. Coverage all over. And here comes the flags. The flags come in. And that's the second 4th down today that the Saints will convert on a penalty. He's going to throw it. Caught Mike Thomas. And that's going to be... I think that's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown.
Saints are leading 31-28.
41 seconds to go. Steelers hoping to get a field goal opportunity here, but lots to transpire between now and then.
Ball is out! Ball is out! The ball is out! The Saints have recovered it! Sheldon Rankins grabs with his left, rolls and punches it out with his right hand, and the New Orleans Saints are going to win this one. Unbelievable play.
Juju parted company with the football. And this one goes into the books the wrong way.
Hey, huge congrats to Sean Payton and the Saints on clinching home field advantage on the NFC side of the playoff ledger. And who better, who brings a little bit of noise to the table, no question about that, to bring clarity to all playoff scenarios. We normally talk about Boomer, but it's the 3-time Super Bowl Hall of Famer. That would be Dallas Cowboys legend, Mr. Michael Irvin. The official intro, right, Boomer?
Yes, you know, Michael, it's great to see you, and I know we're going to talk about the playoffs and all that other stuff. I figured you'd be like in Dallas blue, not Philadelphia
No,
green.
no, 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 no. It's the Christmas spirit. No, it's the Christmas spirit.
Riddler.
It's the Christmas spirit. And
Cowboys are passing
Hey,
out
you've been
gifts
partying
like
much? What's
champions.
wrong with your voice?
My voice, it hasn't been right since the Dallas Cowboys beat the Saints, and I got crazy over it. It has not been right since then.
Yes, we saw it.
How about when
that's
the
okay.
Dallas Cowboys got shut out by the Colts? How was the voice that day?
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay.
So we said we're going to talk a little bit about the playoffs. So let's take a look at the AFC side of the house first, fellas, and look at this. So we look at those top 4 spots there, the division leaders. Ravens now, you know what? If they win, they stay in. Essentially, we're talking about the 4 and 6 spot. When the Colts play this weekend, of course, Tennessee, that will be a playoff berth.
That's right.
Secured there. But the biggest conversation coming off this weekend, of course, the Steelers. They find themselves on the outside looking in because of what happened against the Saints and the fake punt that took place.
Right.
They were in. Take a look at this, fellas. What were your thoughts about that and what Mike Tomlin and company did?
When I first saw this, I was like, what are you doing that for? Because you punt this ball right here. Your defense is playing pretty well. I will make him go the distance to score that touchdown. But this has been the fad thing. This is the fad now in the NFL.
Let's be aggressive.
Let's be aggressive. Let's be aggressive. And you're being aggressive over smart. Right there, you play the odds, and you punt that ball and say, hey, let me put my defense back on. They needed a touchdown, not a field goal.
We were all watching the game together, us 3, and I think it was unanimous right away, right? Everybody, I wouldn't have done it. At that time, the Steelers physically were dominating the game. They couldn't protect Drew Brees. To think that they were going to go 80 yards, I would have bet against it. I thought they had, look what happened to them going, 45 yards? It took them forever. They had to have every break in the world to get those 45 yards.
I will say this is one of the reasons why they lost. There were a couple of penalties that were out of their control that probably shouldn't have been called. They also fumbled the ball twice. Remember, Juju Smith-Schuster fumbled there at the end of the game, and, of course, Stephen Ridley fumbled. I would just say that if I were Mike Tomlin, you have to feel the pulse of the game. And your defense was playing great. Yes. And you know what? I understand that you did not want to give Drew Brees the ball back there late in the game in his building. But I'm sorry. You took it out of the hands of your players by your decision, and you put them in a bad spot. So I don't believe they're going to make the playoffs.
Let's go on the NFC side of the house. This is going to be a quicker conversation.
Right.
Essentially, we're looking at that number 6 spot. The Vikings play Chicago.
Right.
If the Vikings win, they still lock that up. But if the Vikings lose and the Eagles win, then the Eagles get into the mix.
Right, and the Eagles.
So the question is, will the Bears play when the Vikings play Chicago? Is there anything for Chicago to play?
The Bears
for?
actually could play for the number 2 seed, depending on what happens with the Rams and the 49ers. Everybody.
Is that motivation enough?
I would think so. And if I'm Matt Nagy, wait a minute, I'm a rookie head coach. I want my team to play. I want them to go out there to win good. I want them to play hard. And I want my players to understand that I have expectations for you to win no matter who we're playing, no matter where we're playing.
And all of those games are played at the same time. So we don't know what's going on. We want to make sure that, hey, that our mindset is right going into the playoffs. I remember Jimmy Johnson never would let you take that time off. Even if you could not improve your spot, I still want you focused this week for practice instead of taking.
We don't have enough time to really go into it, but Foles or Wentz, who do you want at the quarterback spot for the Eagles if you're an Eagles coach, Eagles fan?
Oh, well, that's so open-ended, but, you know, I understand the cry out for Nick Foles and what he's done, the Super Bowl MVP, we know all that, but long-term, I have no doubt that Carson Wentz, he would have been the MVP of the NFL last year if he did not get hurt.
That's right, JB, I'll just say this. I think that the Eagles have a really good chance to get into the playoffs.
Because?
Because I believe that Matt Nagy and the Bears are going to go in there and try to beat the Vikings.
You know why they're going to do it? Because I'm telling you, know it. We watch San Francisco play every week. San Francisco's not a gimme right now to think you're just going to walk in there and walk over.
Let's remember, we saw Nick Foles at the beginning of the year. You know, that same Nick Foles we were talking about, hey, we got to get him out of there and get Carson Wentz back in there. Now in this spot where everybody's free, and the rest of the team is hanging it around Carson Wentz neck. Oh, okay, now we're ready to play football. I think they're using this as an excuse. They should have been ready all year long. You had the Super Bowl hangover, and that's your problem. I don't want to put this around Carson Wentz. Get your butt ready after you win a Super Bowl and understand you got to.
You know what
That sounds like Jimmy Johnson.
I say amen, because you are right. It took them too long to turn it on.
As we said, the Titans and the Colts play each other on the last night of the regular season, that for a playoff berth. And here's how Tennessee beat Washington and adversity to set up their side of Sunday's winner take all.
It's time to get to the Cowboy stuff now?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
You excited for Christmas? Good, man.
Are we gonna run out there or walk?
We're gonna walk out there, okay? And then you're gonna shake hands with the other guys, and then we'll stand on the other side of them, okay?
Formalities are exchanged.
The Tennessee Titans win the toss.
Hey, that's the first one we won. Good job. Hey, he needs to come with us every time.
Yeah. Bring him on the road.
From the start of the game, they had to win. Everything seemed to go right for Marcus Mariota and the Titans.
First down, Tennessee Titans. Big play by Marcus. Henry scoots out of the tackle, reaches the ball across the line. Touchdown, Titans!
Great job, Marcus.
Yep.
But in the NFL, luck can change in an instant.
Sack, and the ball pops out. They're going to say he was down. Mariota favoring his right shoulder.
I'll be all right.
Good?
Yeah, I'll be good. Hey, go finish it. Let's go.
Mariota missed the rest of the game, but he got to watch his backup, Blaine Gabbert, lead Tennessee to a comeback victory.
Gabbert throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Titans! Johnson with a minute 28. Takes the snap. Blitz coming. Johnson fires downfield. It's intercepted! Kevin Meyer! And the Titans get to celebrate a hard-fought victory!
No wind, no precipitation.
So what a beautiful day, dude.
Just, How you feeling?
What a beautiful day.
good.
I feel great, dude.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel really good.
The weather was fine, but the conditions weren't ideal for Mitchell Trubisky. Good thing Trubisky isn't just a fair weather quarterback.
Hey, play our game, man. We're not playing our game right now. We ain't got to freak out, but we're not playing our game. Let's come and play our game. Let's get something going. Come on. Big drive right here. Let's go.
Back to throw Trubisky. Clean pocket. Now it starts to close. Circling around, away from pressure. Throws on the comeback, sideline left, and the pass is caught. And this is money time for Mitch. Throwing left side of the end zone. Caught by Miller. Touchdown.
A lot of confidence in Mitch coming out of that rollout. He knew that that was going to be a touchdown.
Hell of a route. Way to be patient, dog. Way to be patient.
Good job. That's the way to fight through adversity.
5 consecutive completions in this third quarter on this drive for Mitch Trubisky. It's given to Jordan Howard. Howard's in for the touchdown. Touchdown Bears!
That's how we do it, baby. That's how we do it. 2-4. No one can stop you, boy.
This one in the books. Trubisky's day of beauty.
We'll get him in the playoffs, Mitch. Look at it, baby. Next time.
It's the Texans and the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in a battle to stay alive in the playoff hunt for the Eagles and to clinch the AFC South for the Texans.
Set, go! 4th down and about 2. Foles fires out. He's got the ball. 25, 20, 15, check. Comes back at the 5. He's out.
Nick Foles threw for an Eagles franchise record 471 yards.
He is firing, and it is caught. It is Aguilar at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nelson Aguilar.
Nick Foles drops in a dime to Nelson Aguilar.
We don't have to. If you keep doing that, we don't have to run the ball at all. I'm fine with that.
I'd like to get a little rhythm with it. Let's pound them. They're getting tired.
The Eagles passed more than twice as much as they ran. Tight end Zach Ertz had 12 catches, giving him 113 for the year, the highest single-season total by a tight end in NFL history.
I promise you, that's one of the best pieces of running you'll ever see from Zach Ertz. Great, run out to your chest. Way to get it out there. Nice and soft.
The Eagles led 29-16 in the fourth quarter before Houston mounted a comeback.
Trying to square up and throw. He does. Downfield he goes. Got a man. Foreman. Touchdown, Houston! 3rd down and 11. Watson in trouble. Watson trying to escape. Watson trying to run out of trouble. He does. And he throws downfield. And it's caught! What a play by Watson! The magician does it again!
Wow, that was an amazing play. They just couldn't put him down.
Here's the snap. Deshaun looking. Deshaun firing to the end zone, and he wants Vincent Smith. And he makes the catch deep in the end zone. Touchdown, Houston! And the Texans lead 30-29 with 2:04 to go. Second career catch. First career touchdown for Vincent Smith.
That's that play in your life. Your whole entire football career, that was your best. That's the best play in your whole career.
Down by 1 with 2 minutes left. It was up to Nick Foles to save another Eagles season.
3rd down and 10. Foles back. He steps up. He is looping it. And it is caught. Ertz goes out of bounds at the 37. 3 seconds left, and Jake Elliott. This is for the season. 35 yards. Hold your breath. Spotted. Kicked up. It is gone! It's gone! The Eagles win! So many heroes at this game.
Oh, you got to start with Nick Foles.
I'll tell you what, people are still gonna not believe us. People are gonna count us out every week, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay. My money is on this group.
Oh, it's going to get crazy around here in this season of joy, goodwill to all men, except, of course, the officials. There's only one thing to say. Happy holidays and welcome back to Gene's territory. And if you're here, there's a problem. Yeah. Because you're here to answer all the problems that we have in the NFL.
First, can I have one Christmas wish?
Yes.
Can you just invite me here one week when we just had a great week? Just to have me around.
Doesn't work that way, buddy. Doesn't work that way, buddy.
Doesn't work that way. You're right, Michael.
No passes.
All right, so here's the deal. There's inconsistencies all over the league. Coaches are mad. Fans are mad. We in this business, and we have to decide whether or not these are real penalties or not penalties. Give me your assessment of what you think is going on with the officiating in the NFL today.
I think the word you put out there, guys, is consistency. And look, I may not be mad, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating for all of us. Players put their lives in this. Coaches do. Officials do. I mean, that's a fact of the matter. And we all get frustrated when we don't see something done consistently. And we've got to get the big plays. We've got to get the big plays.
You've got to get them right now. Ray and I,
Yes.
me and Ray were texting with each other yesterday.
I didn't get in that group.
And I thought he was going to come flying out of my phone with his hands around my neck. He was so angry with this particular play that took place in the Houston-Philadelphia game yesterday. It's where Jadeveon Clowney hit Nick Foles, and he was called for roughing the passer. Now, you tell me, take a look at this video right here. Now, if you are on the field and you are officiating this game, are you throwing the flag on this play?
Didn't drive through him.
As an official and as a referee covering that play, as we watch Jadeveon there, and when he lowers and he initiates with the crown, by the rules that I am taught as an official, I have to draw that line. Knowing that this game changes and target areas change and football is football, I try to keep all of that. But at some point, I have to take the way the rule is written, and I have to try to officiate it that way.
Gene, there's no other way. I get the rules and all of this, and this is where the inconsistency is coming in at. It's impossible for a person with Clowney's height, put it like that, right? So we're trying to take logistics. Yeah, we're trying to take size, speed, and measure all of that in less than 3 seconds. That's humanly impossible. You take that hit right there. That hit removes.
Come on, show me. Show him.
I'm trying to show you something. This kid, if he does anything else, that's leading with the crown. He hit this guy with his head. You got to see what you hit. That's what defenders.
Because that's what they're teaching. They say see what they're teaching it just to the kids. They're teaching it to the kids.
So now the only thing I'm saying is, I need enough referees. I need the committee to understand one thing. It's impossible to make these type of calls when that forever changed the way the Houston Texans will go into the seeding. Because now they drop from 2 to 3, which puts New England back at 2. That one play.
Let me ask you this question then. When you say crown,
right? So what is the crown? Is the crown here or is the crown?
Because I know what you just did with Michael was you showed me this part of his head, which is looking down at the ground. Right. Where what you're saying with Jadeveon's situation was it's more like the top of the forehead, I want to say, which is right when we get to the line of when the crown might begin and when the face up is. So there's a line there, and I think that's what the committee needs to talk about.
Okay, and as much as I love contact, and I've used it my whole career, contact with cornerbacks and all of that. That Joe Hayden and Alvin Kamara play, where he just kind of placed his hand near his back.
Take a look at me, Mike.
In this video right here. Now, this is the play. I said, what? What is this right here? How can you call that? They're both facing the ball.
Yes.
They're both facing the football, so they both have equal rights to go after the football.
Agree.
How did this call get made?
I think the angle's bad. I think the official that throws that, who was the back judge that's behind that play, I think he thinks there's more material effect on that with that hand on the back. And again, I can't speak for him. I'm looking at judgment and why he thought that rose to a level of a foul. I think a bigger question on a play like that is, as we progress as officials through a man to a zone to the ball at the end of the play, there's more than two sets of eyes on that play at the end. So if I have a bad angle and I've thrown something and someone else thinks that we need to have a talk about that, I think that's what needs to happen on that play.
Gene? Why isn't that mandatory?
Well, you just want your officials to be cohesive enough and trust each other enough, and the communication level of that it needs to occur. Mandatory in the sense that it's strongly suggested. I'm sure that that's occurring today as we talk about this play.
You know, here's a question for you specifically. Do you agree with the players, the fans, and the coaches, and probably a lot of front office people for that matter, that there is a problem with the officiating in the NFL?
I think we're being challenged right now, Boom, and I think there's some reasons for it. You don't single one thing out. Look, we've had 4 new referees this year. There's been a lot of turnover. The rule changes of we started with body weight, and then we went into crown of helmet and how we're going to work that. There's been a big ask this year, not just from the players and coaches, officials as well. Combination of all of that. We've also seen crews get mixed around during the regular season, 2 guys here or there. There's a cohesiveness to officiating. That's the 3rd team on the field, okay? So as you go through a season, you understand the dynamics of your crew. There's a comfort level there, right? And I think that we're missing that a little.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I'm sure we'll bring you back during the playoffs of the Super Bowl when there's a mistake made in one of those big games.
But you stood in and handled that hot sheet.
Back to the highlight.
I'm a fan you a little
Christmas
bit.
treat. How about this? A left-hander throwing a downfield bomb. Here's the Browns, Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield putting some hurting on my old Bengal team. You all right? You don't feel any better, do you?
No, man.
I didn't think so.
Recently, Myles Garrett and the Browns have been sneaky good. Last year's first overall pick just earned his first trip to the Pro Bowl. This year's top pick, Baker Mayfield, is a Rookie of the Year candidate. The dynamic duo has helped Cleveland win 5 of its last 6 games.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
Baker takes the snap, rolls right, throws down the middle, and Njoku's got it. Big man on the loose. The house that Mayfield filled is the house that is standing right now.
Baker ran down the sideline, had a few words with one of the Bengals assistants, you might guess who.
It really is nothing. But it's Baker.
The future is very bright.
It really is.
Sam Darnold threw for a career-high 341 yards.
And the Jets now lead it in commanding fashion.
But he was outdueled by Aaron Rodgers, who had 442 yards passing.
49-yard pass play. Kumaro from Rodgers.
Rodgers rallied Green Bay from a 15-point fourth-quarter deficit.
Oh, my goodness, Aaron Rodgers wheeling his way inside the 5.
Aaron Rodgers just doing it all for the Green Bay Packers.
Rodgers takes quarterback sneak, reaches over, and the ball came loose, but it's a touchdown. Rodgers reached it over.
In overtime, the Packers won their first road game of the season.
Rodgers clean pocket, throws the middle of the end zone. And a dagger! The Packers have won it, 44-38.
Control what you can control. Control what you can control. We don't only got to outplay their offense. we got to outplay their defense, too. We got to have more big plays than them.
First play action. Rivers wants it off. Right sideline for Mike Williams. He's got a step, jumps up, and that ball looks like it might be picked off, and it is.
The Chargers' first play on offense was an interception. Their first on defense was the longest rushing play they've allowed all year. It helped Baltimore score first and control the ball for nearly 20 minutes of the first half.
Once you get your hands on him, he's not strong, you know, but his initial, he's trying to beat you with quickness.
The Ravens lost the lead, but not for long.
Throwing down the seam, he's got his rookie tight end, Andrews. Sheds a tackle, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Ravens. A 68-yard throw and catch.
And a beautifully thrown football by Lamar Jackson.
The biggest plays came from Baltimore, home of the NFL's top-ranked defense. Their 4 sacks and 3 takeaways added up to one dominant Saturday night in L.A.
2:55 left to play. Gordon in the backfield. Rivers takes the snap. Pass across the middle, complete to Gates at the 40-yard line. And he'll be taken down. Fumbles the ball. Picked up. Tavon Young has it near sideline. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Tavon Young.
We thought we'd come out here and win. Right? No. Except who? We knew we were going to come out here and win. All right? We are a strong, ass-kicking outfit.
So you know what? Along with gallons of eggnog and plenty of sweet potato pie, all Phil, who, by the way, is the executive producer of this program, with Pete Radavich's OK, by the way, all he wants for Christmas is this, the holiday edition of the Grab Bag. Here we go. Everybody gets a chance in here.
All right.
Boomer first. Does Greg Williams deserve the Browns head coaching job? If not, who does?
I think he does, man. And I'll tell you what, if they go on the road and they beat the Ravens this week, I say lock it down, sign him up, give him a 3-year deal, and call it a day, man.
Ray?
All these ifs. I just think he has the mentality.
Right.
He has the mentality of what the Browns are trying to do. And I like Greg Williams, and I think he'll be a great pick for him.
Miguel?
Listen, I personally would like you to bring in an offensive head coach because you have a young quarterback, and I usually like that.
By the way, what's
he's playing well.
Yeah. So what offense do you want to change?
Can I get to that?
Well, hurry.
While I'm running my radio, can I finish singing my song?
Go ahead.
But he is playing well in the situation he is in right now, so I would give him a chance.
Here's what we wanted to hear. Yes, it'll be a great fit.
Period. All right. Hey, Phil, do you have an issue with Baker Mayfield staring down his former coaches? We take a look at this. I mean, he's staring at Hugh Jackson. What's it?
Hey, look. You're an NFL quarterback. There are certain things and ways to do it. There's a lot of big men that play defense for these other teams. Let it go. Let it go. Just move on. It's okay.
Boy, listen, there's a lot in this. There's a lot to unpack in this. Now, first of all, let's go back a little bit here. Remember, they did not start Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Baker may be saying, if you would have started me at the beginning of the year, this would not be happening to you. You wouldn't have to sit over there. And I personally think, though, I don't necessarily like how he's handled Hugh Jackson. I think that's exactly what they need in Cleveland. It takes something special to turn around a perennial loser like Cleveland. They need that type of attitude at the quarterback position.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Couldn't have said it any better. You know, Baker Mayfield, there's a reason why John Dorsey took him over the other 4 guys. And you're seeing it. And you're, I know, but you're seeing it. It's the personality. He's a star, and he's playing like one, and he loves the pressure. He'll learn. He'll learn.
Okay, thank you.
He says you're either with us or against us. I'll be like, Baker, you know that's
the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, because I really believe, like you taking this young kid, and I totally get what you guys are talking about when it comes to mentality. But my question is, Baker, what have you done? I mean, you threw a pass, and maybe you win a game. Y'all ain't going to the playoffs. So what have you done without Hugh Jackson? I think when you appreciate coaches from a certain level, first of all, I would never disrespect the coach like that because of the opportunity that was given to me. And I think sooner or later, right, because one thing about this game, it finds a way to humble you. And that's what you're talking about, Phil.
Yes.
Sooner or later, when you start getting hit in the mouth and things ain't going right, and that's all I'm saying. But Baker, he's young, right? He's fiery.
He'll figure it out.
He will figure it out.
You know what? Yeah. Amen.
You know, you were a fiery young player once too. I remember this. Listen.
Boom! I wasn't doing.
You weren't doing it where?
No, I wasn't doing it in front of coach.
Towards somebody else.
Right, yeah.
Boom! Real quickly, who can teach the Lions how to defend the Hail Mary?
Oh, man. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm sorry. I usually have an answer for
Anybody?
Not for that one.
Anybody have an answer for
Jesus.
this? How about the Ray says, go to church and call Jesus. All right, here we go. Can
Just don't put
Can anyone beat the Saints in New Orleans?
No.
Yes.
Whoa.
No. Yes.
No. There's not a team. There's not a team in the NFC that has a defense, first of all, that can go in New Orleans and win. There's not a team. New Orleans is a different team when you get them out of that dome. I told Michael this earlier. When you get that,
should have beat him yesterday.
That's what all these ifs. These ifs killed me with the game, man. You either win or you lose.
And,
What about the
and
Bears?
that's why I say the Cowboys can do it.
The
That's why I
Cowboys
say
cannot do it,
Let me
Michael.
tell you why.
They're not
Because
mature
the
enough.
Cowboys can get to Drew Brees when they're on defense, but also the Cowboys, because I do believe that #1 ranked rush defense of the Saints is a little bit fugazi since Drew Brees is all over the field. All over the field. Nobody was running against you. And the Cowboys, they can run that ball down the same.
For those who don't know, define fugazi.
Not for real. So that's just where I can tell.
You know what I would say? As I look
not for
at
real.
that green suit, I think of the Eagles. And if the Eagles make it, they could go in there and win. Why
No,
not?
they can't. They can't. You know, I think there's the Bears. I think the Cowboys are a good matchup, and that Saints run defense, that is not fugazi. That is real.
Before
I've been
this year,
watching them all year.
It
Come on.
is good,
listen to me.
but it's not the best.
Before I said this year, I said the New Orleans Saints for this reason. What Drew Brees lost last year, they fixed just a few things. And now you get them with home field coming through that, and they got one game into the NFC Championship. Come on, guys.
Hey, back to the highlights, and here's the game Santa Claus was watching on his electronic device as he made his rounds on Christmas Eve. That will be Denver at Oakland.
All right.
It's real.
Let's play fast. Let's play physical. Let's finish everything tonight. We got a great stage to play on. Let's go have some fun. Move around. Get your cleats moving in the dirt.
Beautiful kick, well over the head of Harris. Lands at the 10, checks up at the 1. Picked up now, and this is a fly ball. Harris picks it up, and he's got the edge, and this is going to be trouble. Down the Broncos sideline.
Breaks free. He's going to go the distance. What a play. Touchdown, Raiders.
Whoa! Let's throw some more bricks on the pile. Let's go.
On the right side, Dayline in zone ahead. Doug Martin dashes in. Touchdown.
You're one hell of a back, man. You're one hell of a back, baby. I love you. Great job. Great job. Hey, Merry Christmas. Thank you, man. Love you, man. Love you. So we're going to have to do. We're going to have to find lots of ways to win in the future. Absolutely. All right, you're going to have to find a way to win most of them. Yeah. You might have to find a way to win this, so keep it together. Yeah, I'm ready. All right? Let's play! Jiminy Christmas!
Richard cuts back, end zone, touchdown Raiders.
This is looking more and more like a celebration here.
Let's finish this game right here. This is the one. You're just a kid. Close the door. Come on. Come on. It's Monday Night Football.
This could be the last play of the game for Denver.
Fires deep right side, intercepted, picked off.
Hey, let's go. Damn it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. I love you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Let's go, man. Santa Claus is coming. Bring it up. Merry Christmas. All right. God bless y'all.
Give me a love you.
The Lions seem to be auditioning for Santa's nice list.
You gonna behave for mom? All right. You too. Love you.
But come game time, Detroit's D treated Kirk Cousins downright naughty.
No, that's it.
The Vikings still have no first downs, and we're at the end of the first quarter.
Keep playing, O. Keep playing, O. Look, they ain't coming to this game with Rudolph in protection all game. That ain't how they're riding. Right.
Once Minnesota hitched its passing game to Rudolph, the true spirit of the season was found. Photographers left shoes to be filled by St. Nick, and prayers to the heavens were answered.
Final play of the first half. Cousins fires into the end zone to the right side, and it's caught! Touchdown! An amazing touchdown catch by Kyle Rudolph.
Who's that white man can't jump? Who's that white man can't jump? That's big time. Who said that?
Rudolph, with his play so bright, guided Minnesota one step closer to the postseason.
Kyle Rudolph has been the Christmas gift that keeps on giving.
I guess if I have to wait 10 weeks to score a touchdown, that's a good way to do it.
But even Rudolph couldn't deliver a playoff berth as Philadelphia stayed alive.
Sweeps the leg. He's got it. That's a winner.
Hey, let's lead these boys, man. I love you, bro. Let's take over.
From their first snap, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott carried the Cowboys.
Handoff. Fake handoff. Prescott keeps, walks the dog. Touchdown, Cowboys. Prescott second and goal. Fade right side of the end zone. Caught by Gallup. Touchdown.
Come on, take the ball away, D.
Come on, D. Here we go now.
Running right hand sack fumble. Jalen Smith recovers at the 30. Runs left to the 40. Midfield and he's running. Jalen Smith down the sideline to become the first Cowboy to return the ball for a touchdown this year.
Hey, big sack 940. That's what I'm talking about, smooth. I knew as soon as he got it, though, he wasn't catching him. Oh, yeah. They're not catching him. No, they're not catching him.
Leading by 7, Dallas needed one first down to win the NFC East.
Second down handoff, Elliott trying to get outside, turns the corner, there's a first down.
There's your ball game. Now at 3 knees, the Cowboys will take those knees as NFC East champions.
Love you, baby. Love you.
So Dak and Zeke doing their Donner and Blitzen impression and delivering the NFC East title to Michael Irvin and the Cowboy fans around the world this Christmas. So the question is, Michael now has the floor. The Cowboys, are they back? Are you back? What's the deal? But Phil, when is the last time the Cowboys won a title?
95.
95?
Got a little lucky,
But they're still called what team?
America's team.
Yeah. This part that always amazes me, because every time someone goes into history, you guys want to choose the part of history you want to go into.
A part of
Once
history,
you say
Mike.
go back to 95, go all the way back and say 5 Super Bowls over there with the Cowboys. But that's okay.
Well, let's go all the way back to the 50s where the Giants got 20 championships.
And I'm not stopping you. In the courtroom, once you open up something, you go all the way into it. That's all I'm telling you. But let's talk about this and what we see right now with the Dallas Cowboys. Remind me of my favorite candy growing up. My favorite candy was called, it was a Now and Later. And that's what the Cowboys are now. They're great right now, and they're young enough to be great later. And that's what I'm telling you, what you see. And it's the great story, Ray. It's the great story that has been told. The Cowboys were down early on, and like America's team, like America, they are risen back up.
So we got it. We got it.
Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl, Michael Irvin?
Absolutely, they can win.
Who's the blueprint? Well,
absolutely. Let me because they have the defense. They have the defense.
Really?
And it's starting with the defense. Wow, Ray, don't go too far with it. Don't go too far. It's starting with the defense while those young horses on offense continue to match together.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Now, I believe defense helps you win championships, but points are the ultimate cause of winning championships.
I've always
and
thought,
I need that on
I've always thought different of that, and that's why I'm leading into this next conversation with you. If the Cowboys see the Saints, you gonna tell the Cowboys to outscore the Saints, or you gonna tell your defense to stop Drew Brees?
Oh no! I'm gonna tell them both to do what they do, and if the Cowboys see the Saints, that's why I love that the Saints got home field advantage.
Yeah.
Really?
Because they got the best chance. A moving quarterback, a quarterback that has mobility, give the Cowboys some fits. But Drew Brees ain't going to move that much. They'll be right there
Yeah, we
where the
saw
hot
that game
boys get
a
on that
couple weeks
spot.
ago. We saw that game a couple weeks ago. You know, Ray's going to hate me for this.
Right, go ahead.
But, you know, Michael, there's a lot of, I think, truth to it. And
Gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's what you're talking about. That's what I speak.
Okay. Well,
go ahead.
Let me finish up here.
Go ahead.
Man, you know, take it. You can step off the pulpit for 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you said to me...
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
If you said to me the Cowboys are going to make it to the Super Bowl, I would say, okay, I can see some of the reasons why.
And the thing is, you know the Cowboys are continuing to get better. That connection between Dak and Amari is still growing.
It is.
It's in its
Real quickly,
infancy stage.
all the question marks that were there early in the season about the Cowboys, you're sold. It's all good. No questions about the head coach.
No. Hey, listen, I like Coach Garrett. I think he's a good man for the job. And more importantly, the team likes him.
And the quarterback. No issues with the quarterback.
No, not once you gave him Amari Cooper. The best thing you can give a young quarterback is a young receiver that's great at transitioning in and out of routes. Now he can throw the route, he can throw the ball when he's going into the cut, knowing he'll be open when he came out of the cut. It reminds me of a Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin.
Oh, my gosh. Are you preaching today?
Go ahead.
You ready on the pulpit?
I'm ready.
All right, so you got to be truthful. Are you still being paid by the Cowboys?
Oh, no, not directly. Indirectly, though, they make money for me all the time. Did he really
no dashing through the snow in Seattle on Sunday night. There was still plenty of Christmas magic on display, Ray, from the Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes and the Seahawks' Russell Wilson. Was he preaching or what?
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, there ain't nothing better than this right here. Ain't nothing better than go out with your brothers, go win a football game.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, everyone was stirring because of two electrifying quarterbacks.
17-10 Seahawks. Mahomes scrambling left, holds it, fires it late, caught, 10-5, touchdown, Kansas City.
That's just something that most quarterbacks can't do.
Russell's going to throw to the end zone, far side. Touchdown! Seahawks! A perfect pass, and the Seahawks retake the lead.
Come on, keep it going. Rock solid, let's go, come on. We're gonna have another chance. Hey, we're gonna have another chance, be ready.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs ran out of chances.
Russell has time, fires inside, reaching up, making the catch. Touchdown! Seahawks and Dixon.
MVP candidate Russell Wilson helped his Seahawks pull away, leading them to 14 points in the fourth quarter.
Holy smoke! What a pass to Tyler Lockett! He's gonna go over the top. He's got Baldwin. He reaches up with one hand and makes a catch, and he's down at the goal line. Get that stuff out of my way! Touchdown, Seahawks!
Hey, we don't ever want to miss an opportunity to celebrate the holidays with the people that we love.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Christmas Day, you guys aren't in here, you're out of here. But you know what? On Monday, you ain't here either.
The Dolphins' playoff hopes were in the soup thanks to a big helping of Campbell's. Calais Campbell made a meal out of Miami with a forced fumble, a sack, and he even pressured Ryan Tannehill into a pick six.
Fires to the right side, a ball picked off. Telvin Smith is going to walk it into the end zone. A pick six for Telvin.
In an up and down season, the Jags defense spoon-fed them a win.
Let's go, Andrew. Have fun. Deep breath, deep breath.
Early on, the Giants took the Colts' breath away.
And he waltzed into the end zone untouched.
Deep breath. Let's do it. All right. Let's get it out. Nice catch. Yeah, for sure. I'm here for you.
York right now in the early going.
Come on now, boys. Let's go, I'm ready, baby.
Hands off left side of Naeem Hines. Launches into the end zone. Touchdown!
Indianapolis trailed, but came back thanks to Andrew Luck's 357 yards passing and 2 second-half touchdowns.
Throw upfield into the end zone. Caught. Dontrell Inman. Touchdown!
Chance to win it in the fourth.
Andrew Luck pumps. He throws over to the left side. It's caught. Touchdown! The Colts now lead 28-27. Merry Christmas!
All right, another year and another lovely Christmas card from my old college roommate, Frank Reich. Didn't know if you knew that. And congratulations to the old guy in the white beard as his Colts rallying for a big win on Sunday. Now that sets up a winner-take-all game with the Titans on the last day of the season, and that brings us to the pick segments. You boys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, you start today. Here you go, Ray. Bengals at the Steelers. Steelers must win, and hopefully the Browns beat the Ravens. The Steelers would make it in as the number 4 seed.
Yeah, Bengals at the Steelers. I'm definitely taking the Steelers.
Yeah, we got to make really quick pick six segment because Michael's been talking so much, but I'm taking the Steelers.
Yeah, great machine. When you got it.
I'm taking the Steelers also. Though.
Okay.
All right, that's 4 in a row. I'll take the Steelers as well. All right, Colts at the Titan. My old buddy Frank Reich, who was my college roommate, didn't know if you knew that. It's a Sunday night game, obviously the last game of the weekend. Winner is in, loser goes home. And Jarrell Casey was put on IR. He is not going to play. The status of Marcus Mariota as we speak here today is not known. We're not sure whether or not he will be playing in this game.
Man, sooner or later, you got to deal with injuries. They're dealing with them late, the Titans. I got to go with the Colts and Frank Reich.
You notice Boomer talks more about himself in this segment than we do about the picks?
Absolutely.
But that's just another thing. You know, listen, I'll tell you, the Colts, why you like them, even though it's on the road against Tennessee and everything, is just what we saw on Sunday because that offense is never out of the game.
Right.
They can make comebacks. They make a lot of big plays. I'm taking the Colts.
So difficult to stop when you have a tight end and a receiver, Ebron and Hill, like they have. It's a tough matchup. I'm taking the Colts.
I'm going to take the Colts. Of course I'm going to take Frank Reich. I want to talk about him during the playoffs. Make this thing all year round to be great. Okay, one last game. Bears at the Vikings. Vikings get in with a win or an Eagles loss. Bears actually can clinch the number 2 seed, guys, and a bye with a win and a Rams loss who hosts San Francisco.
Vikings is one of those sleeper teams that I've always wanted to see how they play. This is going to be a tough game, but I think up front, what the Vikings can do in their front seven on defensively, I think they win this game.
There's a lot of question, will the Bears play this game? And I think they will. They'll play their starters because I think San Francisco has a chance to beat the Los Angeles Rams. You know, you look at San Francisco playing well.
Yep.
Man, I want to take the Bears. And you know what? I'm going to take the Bears up in Minnesota.
I like that.
Yeah, and this is going to be a tough game. It's a tough pick for me. And I'm going to take the Bears because Kirk Cousins is on the other side, and I just don't see
That's not nice.
Been a big game.
I'll tell you what, since they fired John DeFilippo, that offense has turned it around a little bit. They're running the ball more. I like the way that Mike Zimmer has taken hold of this football team. I think they win and they make it. All right, time for our last set of highlights. And one of the most impressive stats in all of football, here's the New England Patriots clinching their 10th straight AFC East division title.
In pursuit of a record 10th straight division title, the Patriots ran for 273 yards against the Bills.
First down and more to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. One man to beat to the corner, diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Patriots!
And Tom Brady beat Buffalo for the 30th time.
Edelman makes the catch on the run and twisted down at the 15, but he rolled over a defender. Stayed on his feet, sprinted to the end zone with a dive. Touchdown, Patriots! When he was corkscrewed down, he landed on a Bills defender, keeping the play alive.
Play to the whistle. What a fighter.
6 straight losses can really blindside you.
Whoa! Pummeled by the kicker. The kicker got him. I mean, what in the world?
Nobody wants to be tackled by a kicker, and nobody can seem to replace Cam Newton as the Panthers quarterback.
Heineke throws intercepted. It is picked off.
Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan passed for 3 touchdowns.
Matt wants to take another shot down the middle of the field. Sanu. Touchdown, Mohamed Sanu.
Man, was that easy.
A reclining Todd Gurley did not mean a declining Rams offense, as LA rushed for 269 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Touchdown, LA! Here's going to be a double pass. Fitz catches it. He's going to throw it deep, far side. He's got a man. It's Johnson. Caught. Touchdown! Larry Fitzgerald with a touchdown pass. Brings the house down.
The House of Cards was brought down by Aaron Donald, whose 3 sacks give him 19 and a half. The most ever in a season by a defensive tackle.
And they have 12 wins for the first time in 15 years.
So the Rams get back on track in Arizona, but the man that everybody's been tracking this holiday season, folks, he's taking a break from his busy schedule to join us. Give him a hand, everybody. Give Santa Claus a hand. All right, Santa!
Santa's all dressed up this year. I like it.
Suave.
Good. Yes, you look suave.
Got to change with the times, man. Trying to be hip.
I see a beard, too.
Man, I feel good. We got.
Santa, come on in. Come on in.
We got young people here.
Yep.
Yes,
Anaya, you can come sit over here, Anaya.
That means I got to clean the act up.
Right, yes.
Okay.
However, don't
okay.
be scared of
Just
Santa.
go
I
ahead.
know
You
he's
sit
a
over
big,
here. I'll
ugly
sit
guy.
here.
Don't be.
I got gifts. I got gifts for everybody later.
Yes.
James Brown, how are we?
You know what? You slimmed down.
I
pretty
did.
nicely,
You know, just
Santa.
had to. Mrs. Claus was getting tired of filling that big old fat belly. So I just did the best I could. But first and foremost here, let's get this out of the way.
Good move.
You can't see Santa.
I get it,
man.
Santa. Don't
be
you
careful.
hurt-
Don't ruin it,
you hurt
though.
that
Be
belly.
careful. Okay.
He'd say, Mike, don't hurt that one.
Yeah, don't hurt this. This is a good gift. This is a nice pillow. And Santa's man, look at me on camera. Santa,
Looking good.
Yeah.
You look good, Santa. Daddy looking good, boom.
I like this hair. But here's a pillow. It's going to our favorite guy, Boomer Esiason.
Why?
And you know why I see this pillow?
Yeah.
Because when you rub it. Look at that. Whoa.
Oh,
you know what?
Yeah.
Now Boomer actually gets to sleep with himself. Well, we don't know what he's going to do with the pillow, but, you enjoy it. So
Thank you, Santa.
You're welcome.
Thank you very
Always
much.
good for you.
Oh, the greatest gift of all time.
And it's big fella over here.
That's cool.
I watch the show.
Look at that.
I watch the show all the time, Ray. And some of the things he says, James.
Oh, Ray Lewis?
Yeah, Ray, he says some things. I go, what the heck's he talking about? So I got you this nice, cuddly, pink little bear. And when you squeeze his hand right here. Squeeze it. Squeeze it, listen.
Phil, stop it. Did you take your pills today, Phil?
I don't know why you say that to that poor fellow. You know you're hurting his feelings when you talk like that. Okay, here we go. What do we got next? Hey, listen. It's just amazing Michael Irvin's on the show today because look what we got here.
Cowboys,
shut up,
Bill.
What with the Cowboys? If you take those, you won't be able to say anything about the Cowboys. We would all appreciate that.
Michael, that's awesome.
Hold it. Every week we have to hear it. Here on the show, we hear it.
Is Caleb blushing already?
Blushing. Could everybody stand up for a second?
Okay.
Look at all the pillows JB sits on every week.
Oh, and why is that, Phil?
Well, why is that, JB?
Because I have no gluteus maximus.
Yeah, well, here we go. This is going to take care of it big time.
What's it called?
It's called Kardashian Booty Pillow. Okay? See, man, you're going to be rocking. Woo! You will be rocking. But last but not least.
Bridget, put your fingers in your ears.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's all good.
Hold that for me, Bridget.
We all listen to the show, and I like to Santa hears everything. And I don't like to hear everything. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these people say some bad things.
Right.
But I hear it. But this thing is unanimous. We got us a punch. Oh! And there is our producer. Pete Radovich on it. And wait, here we go. What's it say in the back?
Communist.
He's a communist. So we're going to keep this on the set from now on, and we see him, and there's Pete, and that's how he looks in the control room when we talk. Hey, Pete, how you doing, man?
Michael's going to like it.
Man, I hear you. We're going to have a good time. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas indeed. We can put Pete down in front.
We want to put Pete, let's get him down here.
Hey, folks, that's it for us. We thank you for tuning in and watching this week's show. From all of us, our family to your family, have a blessed and Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week right here on Showtime.
Showtime.
Daddy looks good.
You want one of those?
Brandon, Bridget, JJ.
Oh, here we go.
Come on, JJ.
Beat it up.
Kayla, Jordan, Anaya.
Manny Pacquiao is still very